So, you're staring at that dreaded HE code on your LG washer, right? Well, you've come to the right place. We're about to break down exactly what that error means and turn that confusion into a solid plan.
I get it. It's so frustrating. The one machine that's supposed to make your life easier is just blinking at you. That little HE code can stop laundry day dead in its tracks.
But hey, don't sweat it. In just the next few minutes, we're going to walk through exactly what's going on and, more importantly, how to fix it step by step. So let's just dive right in.
So first things first, what even is the HE code? Simple. It stands for heater error. Your washer is basically waving a red flag saying, hey, I tried to heat the water for this cycle, but something went wrong and I couldn't get it hot enough. It's a direct signal that there's a problem with the heating system.
All right, before you go reaching for any tools, let's start with the super simple stuff. Seriously, anyone can do these checks, and you might just solve the whole problem right here and now.
Okay, 3 things to check. First, what cycle are you even running? Is it one that actually uses heat, like sanitize or steam? If not, this could just be a random computer glitch. Second, pop back behind the machine and check your water supply. Are both the hot and cold water valves twisted all the way open? And third, the classic, have you tried turning it off and on again? Just unplug the washer, wait a good 5 minutes, and plug it back in. This reboots its little brain, and you'd be surprised how often that's all it needs.
So, if those easy checks didn't do the trick, it's time to roll up our sleeves and look at the hardware. Now, this part gets a bit more hands-on. But before we go any further, and this is the most important part, unplug the washer from the wall. Seriously, safety is not optional here.
You know, LG uses 2 main types of heating systems. The most common one is an in-tub heater. It's pretty much what it sounds like, an element right there at the bottom of the tub. But then you have the fancy true steam models. Think of the WM3900s or WM4000s. Those have a whole separate steam generator unit. Figuring out which one you have is your first big step.
Okay, once you get access to the heater, your eyes are your best diagnostic tool. Just look closely. Do you see any burnt or melted plastic? How about that white, chalky gunk from hard water? Any signs of a small leak around it? Check the wires, too. Anything look crispy or frayed? If you see any of that, it's like a smoking gun. You've probably found your problem.
Now, what if it looks perfectly fine? Well, that's when we need to go a level deeper with an electrical test. This is the only way to be 100% sure if the element has failed on the inside. And for that, you're going to need a multimeter.
And don't worry, this isn't as complicated as it sounds. It's a really simple process. First, just gently pull the wires off the 2 terminals on the heater. Then grab your multimeter and turn the dial to the ohms setting. That's the little horseshoe symbol. Test 1 is easy. Touch 1 probe to each terminal. That checks if the circuit inside is complete. For test 2, you're checking for a short. Keep 1 probe on the terminal and touch the other probe to the metal body of the heater itself.
Okay, so what do those numbers mean? This is your magic decoder ring. If your meter reads somewhere between 10 and 30 ohms, congrats. Your element is probably fine. But if it reads OL, that means open loop or a broken circuit, or if it reads 0, that element is toast. You need a new one. And if you get any reading at all when you test to the metal housing, that's a fail too. It's a simple pass-fail test. No guesswork involved.
All right, now that we've diagnosed the issue, let's talk about what's actually causing it. And, of course, what it's going to cost you to get it fixed.
As you can see, the heating element itself is the big one. It's the cause about 40% of the time. But it's not the only cause. A blown thermal fuse or a bad temperature sensor, that's called an NTC sensor, are also really common problems. And way down the list, in just a few cases, it could actually be the main computer board.
And this is where you have to make a decision, because the cost difference is huge. Look at this. A new heating element might set you back, what, $100 or so if you do it yourself. But if you call a pro for that same exact fix, you're looking at $300, $400, maybe more. The amount you can save by doing it yourself, especially for that element or the sensor, is just massive.
Okay, we've talked all about the fix, but you know what's even better than fixing it? Preventing it from ever happening again. So let's talk about a little maintenance. Here's the key thing to remember. The 2 biggest enemies of your heating element are hard water scale and old detergent gunk. So to fight back, run a cleaning cycle once a month with a proper washer cleaner. If you know you have hard water, toss in some descaling tablets regularly. And this one is so important. Only use HE or high-efficiency detergent, and use the right amount. It makes fewer suds, and less suds means less gunk getting cooked onto your heater.
So let's just wrap this up with some good news. I know this HE error is a huge pain, but the bottom line is it's almost always a really fixable problem.
It's usually a pretty straightforward repair, and more often than not, it all comes back to that one part, the heating element.
And there you have it. You now know what that HE code means. You know the simple checks, you know how to do the deeper diagnosis, you know what it might cost, and you know how to stop it from happening again. You're informed, you're equipped. So, the only question is, what are you going to do next?